Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer, fresh out of trial, fresh out of a victory. It's because what I do. I love what I do. I just got out of trial, a week-long trial, working 14-hour days. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Client went away free, and I love that. So that's why we haven't posted in a while, but... So today, we're going to go to the well one more motherfucking time because this is a story that does not end, and that is Amber Heard. Her lawyers filed a 40-some page memorandum asking the judge to set aside the judgment. Oh, by the way, everything that happened over the last 6 weeks that we did, you should just erase it. And everything that the jury did, you should just erase what they did. Anyway, let's talk about a couple different things. Amber Heard supposedly is going to come out with a tell-all book in which she's going to talk about all this crap, right? If she does, she opens herself up to another defamation suit. And I bet you she gets sued again if she does that. And not only that, you know, she doesn't have any fucking money. The publisher is on notice that she's already been successfully sued once for defamation. So the publisher, I think, would have a uphill battle to win or to defend against another defamation suit. But one of the things, we've kind of looked at this pro forma memorandum. Really, they chopped a bunch of trees to make this memorandum. But we looked at it, and, you know, the one thing that stuck out at me is, and I think this is interesting, the court should conduct an investigation into juror number 15 and whether jury service was proper and due process was protected. The court should investigate whether juror 15 properly served on the jury. On the juror panel list sent to the counsel before voir dire is, jury selection. The court noted the individual who later designated as juror 15 had a birth year of 1945. Juror 15, however, clearly was born later than 1945. Publicly available information demonstrates that he appears to have been born in 1970. First of all, if you were born in 1945, how old do you think you'd be? Let's do the math. Old. Okay, so 1945, let's see will you be 77 years old, something like that. And if you were born in 1970, how old do you think you'd be? You'd be like, 52? There would be a big difference between somebody who's 52 and 72. You'd be able to look at the difference in their ages. So, the discrepancy raises the question whether Juror 15 received a summons for jury duty and was properly vetted by the court to serve on the jury. And then they list the code. Thus, the court clerk's office had statutory obligation, blah, 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 blah. That is, I'm sure it's bullshit. I'm 100% it's just nonsense. They're grasping at straws, in my opinion. You've got a situation where you have somebody who doesn't have enough money to pay for the judgment, clearly. And somebody who's really, during the trial, where did she stay? She stayed at a $22,000 a month mansion. She arrived in a private jet. And now, and if you remember, she had all these contacts with TMZ. They were notified of her order for protection hearing. They were notified about this and that. Well, let's just look at the most recent installation of Amber Heard's involvement with TMZ. Oh, there she is. She's all sort of, looks like she's disheveled, and she's got, not very nice clothes on. Probably doesn't have makeup on. And she has no idea that somebody's following around her, filming her. Are you fucking kidding me? She's a TJ Maxx. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. It's to try and how would they even know that she's going to TJ Maxx to begin with? I don't even want to watch any more of this because it just looks like bullshit. Here's the thing. I think the court should do an investigation as to whether Amber Heard lied on the stand and then refer that to prosecution for perjury charges because that is what she did. You know, she also sent to TMZ the video of Johnny Depp kind of freaking out. And we'll show you a little bit of that.
Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
But Johnny Depp freaked out because, and I guess that was the day his mother died, and the whole video, he's freaking out. He pours himself a mega pint, and then but she's setting the camera up, you know, and you can see that who the fuck does that to somebody they love? Honestly. That's your husband. That's, you know, his mom just dies, and instead of, you know, and she accumulated all this footage to be used later, and he wasn't attacking her. I mean, his anger wasn't even towards her during that tirade. He was probably just, you know, beside himself because his mother passed away. Same thing happened to me. My mother died of cancer, and I was sad. I don't know that I slammed a bunch of cabinets, but we all deal with grief in our own way. And so this story continues. I don't know that she's going to appeal. She may have filed a notice of appeal. But, you know, we've got a motion for a new trial, basically, or to set aside the judgment. Absent any kind of other misconduct or a violation of the law, judge isn't going to do that. And the jury's verdict is going to stand, in my opinion. So essentially, you know, with regard to the juror, the court is saying, or the Amber Heard's, and this is Elaine, I think, is the one who signed the pleading. To the extent that the individual who served as juror 15 was not, in fact, the same individual on the veneer, in other words, the juror profile sheet, or that the court clerk's office did not verify his identity, Ms. Heard's due process was compromised. The Virginia Code does not contemplate jury service by someone not on the veneer for good cause. In any case, but especially in a high-profile case such as this one, it is critical to ensure no person who is not on the veneer is able to serve on the jury, whether by inadvertence or intention. Here, the facts show that Juror 15 was decades younger than the individual on the jury panel list, raising the question as to whether they were the same or different people. Ms. Heard therefore requests the court investigate whether Juror 15 was properly part of the veneer and whether or not to serve on the jury. So I've had situations before where a juror has engaged in misconduct and they kick that person off the jury. I really highly doubt that the juror that we're dealing with in this case was not the juror that was seated. You know, the juror that was on the profile was not the juror seated. They're very careful. You know, you have to show your ID when you come to serve as a juror. Plus, during the trial, you know, or during voir dire, which is a jury selection process, she had full opportunity to question the jury, to question specifically this juror. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I think it's really, you know, however, let's just say however. If for some reason that this juror snuck on the jury, took somebody else's summons, whatever, and some fuckery was afoot, well, then they start all over, and then they would have to have another trial. They wouldn't just throw out the judgment and say the judgment doesn't exist. The remedy would be a mistrial, and you'd have a new trial. So that's all I've got for now. Amber Heard is going to be doing what she's going to do, and I think she kind of has the kind of personality, it seems to me, that doesn't lend itself to quit, because she's got nothing else going on. So she's gonna keep doing this. She's gonna try to stay in the headlines as much as she can. this whole thing with TMZ is just ridiculous. How the fuck is TMZ following her to TJ Maxx and not following her elsewhere? I mean, we don't really see her anywhere else, do we? Not much anyway. So it's just an effort for her on her publicity tour to try to make herself out to be sympathetic. And we did a reaction to her her post-trial statements, to the Today Show and other places where she just came off as, poor me, woe's me. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. We'll follow the appeal on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp saga. I'd like to see them both just fucking see you later and not talk about each other. And notice you don't hear Johnny Depp saying Jack. That's the smartest thing to do. She's opening herself up by continuing to do what she's doing. So this is Bruce Rivers, another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts in the can. Thank you for watching. Support us by subscribing. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. You need help with a lawyer? Give me a call. I answer all my calls. And if there's anything I can do to help you, I will. If I can't, I'll find somebody who can. And we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.